Good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to Computer Science, and in this video we'll be discussing how to complete the assignment that I left for you in Teams. Alright, let's get to it. So basically this is the assignment. Here are the instructions, and what I want you to do is create a list of groceries that you need to buy for a gathering. You need to have at least 10 items, 10 different items. Be realistic, please, okay? Ask your parents or whoever lives with you that goes and does the groceries. Ask them what you can add to the list. You can use the internet to find the prices for those items, or you can ask that person that goes and does the shopping. Alright, so the table, I want the table to have the title, the name of the table on the top. So in my case, I would use as an example Angels Gathering. And then we're gonna have 5 columns in that table. One for numbering the items, another for the name of the item, then quantity, then the price, and then a total of how much money we're gonna need for that particular item. So let's get started by going right to Google, or to Google Chrome in my case. You can use any browser of your preference, and then we're gonna go to Microsoft Excel. When you start, you should be seeing it like this. I know you all know this, but just in case, we're reviewing it. Okay, right here, once you log in to Office 365 with your school email and your password, if you have any issues with that, please contact me or Echavarria, and we will help you out. Then go to Excel right here, and then new blank workbook. Some of you already started with this. If you want, you can continue on that one. I do not mind. Alright, once we have our workbook, make sure we name it right here on the top. Let's give it a name. Let's give it Angels, because that's my name. Angels Gathering. That. Perfect. Ta-da! Now, the first thing it asks of us would be this right here, right? It would be have a title with your name, Angels Gathering, and 5 columns. So we know that we're gonna need 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we need a place for the title. So it would be right here, right? Around there. It doesn't have to be the exact same column and row that I'm using. You can place it over here if you want to, wherever makes it more comfortable for you. All right. So I choose to do it here, and if it's 5 columns that we're gonna need, I make sure that I know how much space it's going to take, right? And then right here we're gonna merge and center. Then we're going to create 5 columns. The first one was for numbering, right? We could always use for numbering, you could use the hashtag symbol, which is also used for a reference to numbering. And then name of article or item. Then we have the quantity or amount, price, and total. Now we have our 5 columns. Perfect. So we're gonna start numbering. It says that we need up to at least 10 items, right? So 1, 2, enter, 3. We established a pattern. I know we talked about this in class, so this part's gonna be easy for you. Highlight the 3 numbers and use this part over here. You see the mouse, how it transforms into that? Yes. Grab it and drag it down all the way up until it reaches So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you're using the Microsoft app, you will see a cloud, a little cloud telling you in which number you would be as you go down or to the right. Okay, now let's say the first one is a gallon of milk. And I only need 1 gallon of milk. And the price would be right now nowadays, yes, $6, right? So 6.00. Look at that. It treats it as a whole number because it is a whole number. Microsoft Excel does not know that this is meant to be for money. So we're going to select that cell. It's already selected here. And we're going to click right here, accounting number format. You see the dollar symbol? Yes. So we're going to set the value of that cell to currency, American currency to be specific. We can also do the same thing for the rest of the cells. You see, this is a shortcut for the currency type of value, but we could also do it right here. And it shows you all the other types of data that we could use. Bum, 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 bum. So let's use currency for now. That's the one that we're using. And then total is also currency. So let's do that. Bum, bum. Currency. Same thing. Okay. So how do we know how much it is? Well, let me add another one so you can see more clearly. Let's say I want to buy Snickers chocolate bars, and I need 3 of them for the gathering. We're gonna do a raffle or whatever, and they're gonna be the price, right? So in each one of them costs around $1. Did you notice that I put the dollar symbol manually? Well, it's gonna recognize it's the dollar symbol, so there's no problem with that. But it's way better if you automatically you put that it's gonna be currency, then you wouldn't need to put the dollar symbol. You just do this. 1, and then if I press enter, look at this. Automatically, okay? Now, right here, we're gonna do an equation. We're gonna create an equation. Remember that in class we used the sum equation, this one, for adding up cells? Yes, we're gonna do something very similar to that. Remember that every time you click on a cell and you write the equal symbol, you're saying this cell will equal the result of any equation that you assign it to, alright? So in this case, we're going to say that this cell, if we want to find how much money would be the quantity times the price to find out how much is the total money that we need for that item, for those items, right? So right here we have quantity, in which cell? Right here. So we're going to click on the cell, and it's going to automatically tell you which cell you clicked on. So we selected that this cell, C5, will be multiplied, use the asterisk for that right here, will be multiplied by the price of 1 gallon of milk. So C5 times D5, and we press enter. You see it says it's 6. Let's say I wanted 2 gallons. I changed the quantity, and look at that, automatically we have the multiplication right here, because it's multiplying this cell times this cell. It's not specifically multiplying the values inside it. It's not 2 times 6, it's the value of this cell times the value of this cell, which is equal to 2 times 6. I know that might sound confusing, but think of it as variables, alright? Say x and y. So the value of x and y can change at any given moment. But since you're using x times y, it doesn't matter if any of them change, you will always get the correct result. Now, let's do the same thing over here. I want to show you a trick. You remember how you did with the numbers? After you selected 3, you established a pattern, and then you moved down, and then you copied that pattern all the way down. Well, if you only selected 1, boom, 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 this is what happened. You would be copying the value of that cell to wherever you want, to the adjacent cells. So let's do that with this that has a formula. And check out what happens. It doesn't just copy the formula, but also it transforms it to the following line, to the following row. You see? This one is C5 times D5, but when I copy it down, it says C6 times D6. So that's pretty useful, right? Now you're going to do the same thing with all these cells. You're going to multiply quantity times price. You're going to assign a name to the item, and now we can add shapes. Format the shapes and the shadings by selecting the place that we want to edit, and then right here we go to borders, and you can select the border that you want. Border color, border style. In this case, I want all borders. And what type of line? The one that's already selected. And what color? The one that's already selected. Boom. There we go. We are good to go. It looks better. It's easier to understand. Now, I'm also gonna add a thicker line right there, just to make a distinction. Over here, I need the total. So if we look at the instructions, it says after creating the 5 columns, which would be this right here. Let me put this bigger right here. Boom. So after creating the 5 columns, the last column, using a formula, for example, 3 Snickers times $1 would be 3. Use the multiplication symbol. And under the total column, we have the grand total money needed for these groceries. Do you remember this equation, this formula right here? Sum? Well, we're going to use it. Yes. So let's write down total over here so we can understand what's going on. And here, we're going to use the equation for adding up different cells. So you have 2 options. You can do equal to this one plus the next one plus the next one. But oh my god, I'm already tired of clicking. So let's do this instead. Let's click on the cell where we want the total and go here to the top right. You see it says auto sum. If you click on the little arrow, it gives you other functions. Yes, yes, yes. And even more functions. Yes. But we only need AutoSum for now. So let's click on it. And automatically it selects the rows above it. Boom, boom, boom. It selected the whole column. We are good with that. Notice that it says E5, 2 dots, and then E14. These 2 dots mean yes, these 2 dots right here, they mean that it's a range. It's establishing a range from E5 to E14. All the way from E5 to E14, all that is going to be added and displayed in this cell. You see? Ta-da! Let's say it's 1 gallon of milk instead of 2. You see that? So we have automatic cells all over the place here and here with different functions or purposes. Now, another thing, remember that I don't know if you can be picky like me, but I am picky. So if you want to center something, like the text is not right, if you want to make it bigger or something like that, it's basically just like Microsoft Word, okay? So you select the row, the column, and you center it. Bum bum, like this. In paragraph, boom boom. And you can also expand the columns by selecting the column that you want to expand, or row. And then when your mouse turns like this, you can actually drag it to the place that you want, to the size that you want, okay? Bum bum. Same thing with the rows. If you double click it, it goes automatically to the biggest size, the smallest size it can without altering the values. Now, what else? You see, it can be pretty small, right? All right, so I'm gonna put it a little bigger for the sake of the example. Not that big. Dun, dun. Now, what's next? Well, what we're gonna do now is how do we let's look at the instructions real quick. Da-dum, da-dum. I got too many window opens. Okay. Dun, dun. Remember sum? Now you know how to do the show average, minimum, and maximum. Do the same thing we did with sum, okay? On the right side of the column total, make the cells display cheap if the total money typo needed for that item is less than $2 with 50 cents. Else, if it's more than that, then let it display expensive. Alright, let's do that. That's tricky, right? So right here, let's say we only want 2 Snickers for the sake of the example, right? So it's $2 here. Now, in this cell, we're gonna make those cells say if it is expensive or cheap based on our criteria, which now is $2.50. Up is expensive, lower than that is cheap. So how do we make a cell do that? Well, easy. So the way you would say it is if the amount is more than $2.50, then expensive. If it's less, then cheap, right? Either way is correct if you say it backward, the other way around. So let's click on the cell where we want it displayed, and right here on top, or right here, whichever, we write equal to. So this cell will be equal to the value of whatever we write here, whatever equation or formula we type here. And we're going to say if, establishing a decision, right? So it's going to verify, there's going to be a logical test. It's going to verify if something is true or not. And you can tell Excel what it's going to show, or what is it going to do if it's true or false. So let's say if, open parenthesis, this one, E5, if this cell is bigger than, do you remember the bigger than, lesser than symbols, or equal to? Yeah, we use them. So if it's bigger than 2.50, let's check over here, if, logical test, then the comma separating for what it's going to do if it's true. So comma, quotation marks because it's a text now. If it's bigger than 250, expensive. Else, if it's not true, it's going to display cheap. Alright, did we get that? If. So let's verify if this cell is bigger than 250. If it is true, if this is true, then this cell will be equal to this. If it is false, the cell will be equal to this. And then make sure you close the parenthesis, bum bum, and click or press enter. There you go. Expensive. Now let's copy that down. I'm going to copy down. Boom. The same thing we did. Notice that the same thing happens. What we did over here with multiplication, we copy it down and it changes the cells accordingly. So the same thing happens with the if formula. It's E5, right here, you see it? E5. And if we click on the next one, it says E6. So it goes and it changes the cell accordingly. Sometimes that's good. Actually, that's pretty great most of the time, okay? So, but sometimes we don't need that, but you'll notice that later on. Okay, so basically this is what you have to do all the way to the bottom. Alright, so also add over here average, minimum, maximum of what? Of these cells right here. And then over here in the top, you're going to add a picture. Oh, how do we do that? Yes, my friends, we're going to use Google Images. Right here, open a new tab, and let's type groceries, or even better, party or get together groceries. Images. Alright, not what I expected, but good enough. Alright, so I'm just gonna shopping bag, grocery bag, right there. Any of those things are related to, you guessed it, groceries. So right here, we click on the image that we want. We can copy it, we can save it, and then put it in Excel. But let's just copy it. It's easier. Copy image. And over here we can right click and paste. Or we could Control V, paste. Uploading. Oh my god. No, that doesn't fit in my screen. Alright, so let's reduce the size of that image times 1,000 because it's too huge. Alright, zooming out just to make sure I can handle this image a little bit better. Alright, I'm gonna put it where I want it to be. Now, there's two ways to make extra space. If you remember, we can actually insert more columns like this. Click on the row, insert more rows, I mean, like this, on number 2, for example. Insert, and we have another column, you see? We can also just expand one column that we're not using, and that also works. Ta-da. Ta-da. And don't forget to add colors to your table. Alright, so right about here you can select where you want to add the colors, like ta-da, and then go over here. After you select it, go over here to the paint bucket of paint, and select the color that you want. And the application in Google and Excel, Microsoft Excel application, you will notice that you have way more colors, and you can actually customize your own color. Alright, so right here we have those, and then we can also add colors to all of this if you wanted to. Make it a little bit neater. And then over here we can add borders and lines. Be creative, okay? So this is basically it for now. I hope this video tutorial was helpful. But wait, there's one more thing missing, right? How do we send it? Well, guys, I think you already know, but just to make sure, once you make sure it's saved right here on the top, everything's good, you go to, you can check over to Teams. You can go to Teams directly right here, bumping. And then you're going to go to your class, and in the assignment, which will appear as soon as I finish this video, you go and you click in view assignment, for example, and you submit it. Oh wait, not here. Student view, and right here you would see a button or a little link that says add work. That's where you click it, and then you look for your Excel table, and you add it, and then you turn in. That's basically it. Make sure you do it before the deadline, okay? Well, good luck and have a nice day. Ta-da!